This is the Hyundai RM20e, a development car making 810 horsepower and 708 pound-feet of torque. RM means racing midship because all the RM cars have their motors in the middle. Hyundai calls them a rolling laboratory, and that's pretty accurate. The first RM debuted in 2014, and each one since has been a testbed for technology that will end up in their road cars. Their electronic limited slip diff was developed in the RM16, and the impressive dual clutch was developed in their 390 horsepower turbocharged RM19. But this is different. There are no turbos. There's no fuel. It's a mid-engined EV developed in part by Rimac. It looks like a rally car, it makes 4 times the horsepower of the Kona Electric, and it might be a look into the future of Hyundai's performance cars.
Very unique experience, everybody. This is the Hyundai RM20e, 800 horsepower electric vehicle, weighs about 4,200 pounds, 1-speed transmission. How cool is that? How cool is that? It's a quick drive, but it's a very special drive. Okay. No shifting needed. Take it real easy for this first lap. Wow, what a sound. What a sound. Okay, brakes are very strong. Okay, brakes grab real early. Do not need much pedal pressure. Wow. Full racing brakes. I mean, a lot of this, so the RM is like their rolling laboratory. This is where Hyundai develops all their new technology. It's where they worked on their e-diff, their rally cars, their suspension tuning, their dual clutch transmission. Just like any OEM, they develop it in the race car. They develop the stuff on the track, in the trails, you know, on the WRC stages, and then they pass it down to you and I. So, will this end up in a passenger car one day? Probably. So we have traction set at level 3, keeping it safe. Power is at 600. Whoa, 150, 160, 170. That was 180 kilometers an hour. Comes up real quick. We got a double apex here. Steering is very light, really direct. The sound is so cool. I know it's a little enhanced, but it's so cool. This thing is so agile because race car. I'm trying to keep it nice and tidy through here. I don't want to hurt the laboratory. Man, it corners so flat. Wow, it sounds amazing. It does sound amazing. You can feel this, everything through the wheel. Woo. When you get on the throttle too hard, the front does get a little light with traction not invading. Tight right-hander coming onto the front. This is a very cool experience. Turn it over. Okay, now we have 810 horsepower, full tilt boogie. Traction down 1. Wow! 800 electric horsepower. There's no power band. There's no waiting. I mean, you guys know this, but this is the 3rd race car I've driven that's electric. They never cease to amaze. Ooh, steps out a little bit. That mid-engine setup is really nice. Braking hard. Pendulum effect. I don't know what the weight distribution is. I'm sorry I don't have that number. I'll try to put it down below. I'm staying as safe as possible, but woo! So much gear noise, motor noise. It's really interesting in here. I know we complain that electric cars don't sound like anything on the outside, but the inside is not dull, not dull. A lot of lateral G-forces. It hides the weight really well. 150, 170, 180, 190 kilometers an hour. That was about 100K to 190 really quickly. Keeping it late, turning in late. Let's see if we get on the gas a little bit. Yeah, it just rotates. If your neighbors are mad that you're drifting at night, just get this and they won't hear you. Wow! So much speed, plenty visceral. I'm just gonna slow down. We're gonna pit now. Look, I know that was a quick ride, everybody, but this is a very special car. There are other people waiting to drive. But look, I know that we're all worried that the future of cars is boring because they don't make a lot of noise. But I think we have to remember that, you know, the sound of cars does entice us in the beginning when we're too young to drive, but it's the driving that really is exciting. And if they can sort out and perfect the power delivery, the weight balance, all those things, then you'll still get a lot of good feeling behind the wheel. You can still have a lot of fun, you can still get oversteer, you can still go quickly and dice corners. You know, it's heavy, but it weighs about as much as a performance SUV these days. I don't know how many sessions you get in this. I know that's a big thing, battery capacity, etc. But let's remember, we're in early days. And if everything's headed electric, I'm happy there are companies that want to make the electric cars fun. You know, Hyundai has a lot of fun cars. This is one of them. So look for this on dealerships in like 30 years. Okay, thank you guys. Left pedal, neutral.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, this is really cool. This is really cool. Yeah, it's really cool.